All right, everyone, it's time to talk about that invasion force coming from south of the border. You know, the one coming from Honduras and Guatemala, the 4,000 marching, saying that they're going to come to America and invade our sovereignty and demands that we give them asylum and all of our social welfare benefits and have they can have their children here and anchor babies and blah, blah, blah. Yes, well, this is an invasion force. They're flying another country's flag. Just because they're not wearing the uniform of another country, they're coming in, they're invading our sovereignty, and either they are invading us to, to. The thing is growing up, I'm Native American, I'm Hispanic, and La Raza and all these groups. When I was in college and younger, were trying to get me to join their clubs, and all of what these organizations preached was to take the land back from Mexico and for South America through occupation. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is America. This ain't Mexico. This isn't Honduras. This isn't Guatemala. This isn't El Salvador. Nor do I want to live in those countries or visit those countries. I have no desire to even visit any of those countries, let alone become those countries. So, so I have huge issues, and a lot of American-born Hispanics have issues with that when they use their brains. A lot of the Hispanics that you see that the Democrats are talking to are the ones who are dreamers, who are here illegally as children, or whose parents are here illegally, but maybe they were born here as anchor babies. And I will call them anchor babies. And so the parents get de facto citizenship because you cannot deport an American citizen, but you also can't separate a child from its family. So they get to stay here. They know how to play the system. I grew up, born and raised in California. I grew up around it. They know how to work the system. Trust me, they know it better than a lot of us. If I lost my job tomorrow or my health insurance, I don't know how I would get health insurance. I don't know if I would even get assistance. But they do. When I was younger and I worked in a hospital, I was part-time and I didn't have benefits. And so I was uninsured, and I was registering people who were fresh over the border who could not speak a word of English, yet they had Medicaid. They had health insurance. I couldn't even get health insurance. I couldn't even qualify for that. Why? Because they don't work? Because I made $10 an hour on the books? I couldn't qualify for something that my tax money as someone who works could not get those benefits. So no, they know how to work the system. And I had someone who I thought was a friend. She said, well, people from south of the border, they're not educated like us. They don't have the education system that we do. So they don't know that it's illegal to cross the border. They just think that they can come here. They don't know that it's illegal. And I'm like, are you really that stupid? I mean, I have debated a lot of people on the other side of this issue, and I've never heard anything that stupid before. But if you want to talk about differences, I'll tell you about differences. They are also born and raised in a culture different than ours. They are different from us. They are born in poverty, yes. They are born around violence. And they think it's perfectly natural to be violent and to come here and commit acts of violence. And make no mistake, this is an invasion of our sovereignty. They're testing us. Remember, they did this last year too. And now they're doing it again because they saw how the Democrats reacted. And this is organized. Make no mistake about it. This is an organized invasion because they want to do this before the election. I've seen videos of people paying these people to come across the border in this caravan or this army. Okay? I've seen pictures of this army. Majority of them are young men who should be fighting in their own country if they don't like the conditions in their own country, and fighting to make their country great, to make their country what they want it to be. Not coming here. And as a matter of fact, if I'm running because I'm afraid for my life, or if I needed if I needed emergency medical services, I wouldn't pass 2 or 3 hospitals and get to one 4 counties over. What's the sense in that? You go to the first place of refuge. And Mexico better stop them. If not, I hope that Trump has got to be smart about this. This is just before the election. The Democrats want to see the military on the border because they know that when these people, that there was a video over the weekend, I think they were getting into Guatemala. I'm not sure what country they were getting into. I've worked all weekend. I work 12-hour shifts, so I don't have time to sit and watch all of the news. But I saw the portrait of these people breaking through the fence into one of these other countries on their way up here. Now, I'm sure that country wished they had a wall instead of a fence, because you can't bust through a wall like you can a fence. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to go Donald Trump into starting a war on the border just before the election, because they want to show dead women and children at the border before the election. That's what they want to do. And even if the military goes down there and they don't kill anybody, these people are so brutal that the women and children that they have with them, they would kill them themselves for propaganda shots. And the Democrat Party doesn't care because they would do it for propaganda. So Donald Trump's got to play this very smart. I would tell Mexico, if you cannot keep these people off of our southern border, I would induce sanctions like you see North Korea and Iran, and I would pull out of that new agreement. I would threaten them economically to keep those people out, because that's what they want. They want a conflict. We also need to start attacking these people at whoever is supplying them. Hit the supply lines. But they want a conflict. And these cowards, the few women and children that they have, these cowards put the women and children in front of them and use them as shields. These cowardly men who like to think they're so macho because that's that's the South American way. These men think they're so macho and they're all this over women, and the women are barefoot and pregnant in the home getting beaten by their men. Yeah, that's my cat's tail. But yeah, I know how it is. So Trump needs to be careful. And you don't put military on the border. Somebody on the Lionel Nation today said that the military should fire warning shots at these people. Okay, first of all, you do not pull a weapon unless you plan to use it. That's the first rule of weapons. And like I said, he needs to be careful because these people, these women and children are being raped on the way up here. Make no mistake about it, because that's what they do. They're bringing drugs in here. We don't know what kind of medical diseases these people have that we are not immune to, because we, in this country, have eradicated a lot of the diseases that they bring across the border, which is why we're seeing a resurgence of things like measles and smallpox and tuberculosis, because these illegals are bringing this shit here. This is not Ellis Island. These are not the immigrants of our grandparents and our great-grandparents. This is completely different. They did not come here as an invasion force. They came here to be Americans and to assimilate and to contribute to this country. Our economy cannot absorb another 4,000 illegals in this country. You put these people in this country, they have no work. The women are pregnant. Well, we're supposed to absorb that? How are we going to absorb that? So it's economically damaging. And they know how to play the system. These women, we need to do away with the birthright citizenship. That needs to be the first thing to go. Because they know how to play that game. Anyway, I've gone on too long. Morticia would like my attention. So I would just like to say, I wish you morbid dreams.